Chapter 4 Skills for Critical Thinking. Has anyone ever told you that critical thinking skills are essential to create a successful career for yourself? It is very likely that you will have heard this before. But do you know anything about the skills that you should develop to do this? If you start looking for critical thinking skills online, you will find more than 1 million results that provide different information. Well, that's not helpful, is it? You don't have to worry about that anymore. In this chapter, you will learn about the 6 actionable steps that you can take for developing your critical thinking skills. Interpretation. This not only includes the ability to understand the information that you have been presented with, but also includes your ability to be able to communicate its meaning to others. You will find yourself in different situations where you will need to make use of this critical skill. Interpretational skills will help you in getting a better understanding of the information that you have been presented with, and it also helps in decoding the same. Doing this will provide you some clarity. Application exercise. Make a list of 10 facial expressions that can be equated to different emotions. For instance, a smile means happiness, a frown can mean confusion, and so on. Try analyzing the different emotions you can gauge by looking at someone else's expressions. Analysis. Being able to connect the different pieces of information that you have been provided with and determining the intended meaning of the same is known as analysis. This skill lends its user the ability to read between the lines and will help you in understanding the actual meaning of something. Analysis is an easy skill to acquire, but it does take a while to master. Application exercise. If you are interested in starting to practice this skill, then try to understand the meaning of this Chinese proverb. Be the first to the field and the last to the couch. Did you understand what this proverb is trying to convey? We will obviously all have a different interpretation, but this proverb is essentially talking about hard work. Inference. The ability to conclude by understanding and recognizing the different elements that you are presented with is known as inference. Well, most people tend to jump to a conclusion without taking into consideration all the information that is available. Doing this will lead to faulty assumptions, and in turn, it can affect your ability to take decisions. Think of a scenario where you are the business manager, and you are looking at the sales forecast. You notice that the sales have dropped. It is essential that you can take into consideration other additional information to determine the exact reason for the decrease in sales. There can be internal and external issues that led to the decline in the sales. Application exercise. Select a crime show and watch 1 episode per week. Notice and observe the different clues that they drop and see if you can figure out on your own who the culprit is before the end of the show. This will help you with your inferential skills. Evaluation. This refers to the skill of being able to evaluate the credibility of a statement or the information that you have been presented. This skill comes in handy when you have measured the validity of the information on hand. Application exercise. There is a very easy way in which you can hone this skill. Just open your laptop and search for tests for evaluation skills, and voila! You will have plenty of tests to choose from, and this will help you in developing your evaluation skills. Explanation. Explanation is the skill of being able to restate the information in such a way that it adds clarity and perspective to it. This is needed so that information can be adequately understood. For instance, think of a scenario where you have to give 2 presentations about a new product idea, one for the board of directors of the company and the other to the product engineers. Both the parties will be keen on listening to what you have to say. However, the way you present the information before these 2 groups will be significantly different. The board will probably be interested in only the high-level idea, whereas the team of product engineers will be interested in learning about the specific details of the product. Your ability to explain your idea while taking into consideration the audience you are presenting to is quintessential to make sure that the information is not just well received, but is understood as well. A really simple way in which you can hone this skill is by explaining a rather complicated concept to 2 different people. You can use your kids and your spouse for this. The way you explain a particular concept to your spouse will be different from the way in which you will explain it to your children. The goal is quite simple. The audience should understand what you are saying. Self-regulation. This refers to having an awareness of your thinking process and the elements that you make use of for finding the results that you did. Well, think of a scenario where you are on a call with a customer and are trying to help the customer fix a problem with the company's software that they are using. Also, this is your first week at the job. The problem that you are trying to rectify is a difficult one, but you want to assist the customer in making a good impression. Well, the ideal thing to do is to transfer that call to a coworker with prior experience in the same, and this will help the customer obtain the best results. This is about learning to differentiate between your personal biases while making a decision related to your work. Don't let your self-interest hinder your ability to decide what is best for your work. Well, these skills can be cultivated quite easily, but if you want to master them, then you will need to put in considerable time and effort for doing the same.